So Carrie Lloyd once said, it's always hard to deal with injuries mentally, but I think about it as a new beginning. I can't change what happened, so the focus needs to go towards healing and coming back stronger than before. Hi, my name is Jada Garcia, and today I'm going to share to you the story of when I dislocated my shoulder and the hardships and challenges I faced when learning to overcome them. This experience stands out to me because it taught me the importance of how to mentally become resilient and prioritizing my health over football. At the time, football was everything to me, but looking back, it was just a game that doesn't define the outcome of my life. This is how it began. It was during a football drill called Oklahoma, where you go on one and one had to protect the quarterback. I was assigned to protect the quarterback, and I was against someone that was physically, a lot bigger than I was. When I pushed off to protect the quarterback, my opponent, quote unquote, also my teammate, he stepped on my foot, and when I attempted to move, I fell, and it made me fall on my shoulder. Then, because of that, he also fell and he fell on my side, causing my shoulders to shift, resulting in the dislocation of my right shoulder. I did get up. I continued on, um, grabbed my arm, talked to my coach, but didn't necessarily tell him exactly what was going on because at the time I didn't know exactly what was going on. So I still got up. I was able to somehow shimmy it back to its place. Very painful. I remember it was so painful that I had a tear going down without really realizing it. I had a tear going down one of my eyes. And I just continued on as if nothing happened. In the moment, adrenaline was going, blood was pumping. It was high stakes practice. So I had a lot going on. I had a lot of adrenaline, a lot of energy. And because of that situation and decision that I made to get up and keep going, I ended up dislocating it twice in that same day, in that same practice. Um, after the practice, I ended up going to the emergency room. I got evaluated then and there. The nurses took amazing care of me, made sure I did not move my shoulder. They quickly gave me a sling. They gave me a sling to put my arm in, and they gently put it on me. I was taken to run a couple tests, take an X-ray because it had to do with the dislocation. They had to see the bone. I was told that I partially tore a ligament and that surgery was an option, but the only reason that the doctor did not push it is because I partially tore the ligament. If it was fully torn, then I would definitely need surgery. I was a minor, so they did rush me a little quicker. And with that outcome, I learned a lot. I learned that nothing is really worth putting my body on the line, especially if it's not life threatening. There's moments that we see or that we come where we believe we have to give it our all and that we have to sacrifice so much, but your body and your health and your well-being is not worth putting on the line unless it's a life-threatening situation where I have to put my body on the line. I learned how to be mentally resilient because when I had to walk around school with a sling on my first day as a freshman, it took a very big mental toll on me. I was new to high school, and on my very first day, I had to walk in with a sling. I learned to be mentally strong and resilient with the hardships that come my way. I struggled a lot mentally. I also, like I said, being that I was a first-time freshman, first day of school, walking with the sling, seeing some of my friends that I had in middle school as well, coming to high school with me, them seeing my arm. A lot of my football teammates knew what was happening, what was going on, but a lot of the other school had no idea what exactly was going on, and that did make me struggle mentally it took a lot because I had a lot of people coming up to me, giving me this attention. Some of it was concern, some of it was honestly, they just wanted to gossip and they wanted to know all the information. And I really had to learn how to deal with that, how to mentally be stronger, how to add to that fortitude, how to deal with those hardships of not being able to move my arm, not being able to do things that I could have done on a daily task, and it's consequences that I still deal with to this day because I still feel my shoulder a little off, as that I do still have that torn ligament. And in this speech, I shared to you how I dislocated my shoulder, what mental challenges came with it, and how I overcame them, and I still learn from it. And through this experience, I became resilient with hardships. I learned how to reinforce my mental strength and make it difficult to shake me. That, like I said, it reinforced me, and it's so much more difficult for me to be shaken mentally, and physically as well. It made me push my body, do better, so that I can get that strength that can be better. And I learned how to roll with the punches that life gave me, and I came to overcome and achieve, and I learned how to deal with everything given to me.